Welcome to this video. In the previous video, we discussed about how to debunk myths surrounding leadership and identified a linguistic problem that caused leadership to be shrouded in mystery. So what is leadership? If we were to chunk down on the word leadership, that category that we call leadership, what is the behavior? The behavior is leading. So what is leadership? Leaders lead. Leadership is leading. And what do leaders do? Leaders lead. So when we say that someone is leading, a leader is leading, then immediately we may think about leading from one point to another. Leading from point A, this point A is where you are now. And moving on to another point, point B, this is where you desire to be. Point A is the current state and point B is the desired state. So when we talk about leading in leadership, we are leading someone from where they are now to where we want to be. So when you think about leading someone from one place to another, what is the image that you have in your mind? In my case, the moment I think about leading, it can be as simple as, like a mother duck leading baby ducklings across the road. So that's that process of leading a group going across. It could be a kindergarten teacher leading a group of preschoolers on how to draw or on how to play on the monkey bar. So that's leading, getting them from one point to another. So in this context, whenever I use the term breaking down the word leadership into leading, then it gives me the impression, instead of situational leadership, it gives the impression of functional leadership. You are performing a certain function as a leader. When you are performing the function of leading, you are a leader, and that is leadership. Leaders are those who are responsible for their world. Their world involves themselves and the others around them. That could be their family members. That could be the work colleagues in their place of work. And this is where we need to realize that everyone is a leader. And every leader is responsible for the people they lead. An important point for us to realize when we talk about leading from point A to point B, leading people to that point, what is at point B? So this is the critical bit. For many people, when they talk about leading from point A to point B, at point B, they are just thinking about the tangible, real-world results. In the organization, that could be sales, that could be meeting KPIs. At school or at colleges, you are talking about getting the grades that you want at that particular point. So these are the tangible, real-world results. At the same time, through neurosemantics, what I have also come to realize is that as we are leading a person from where they are now to where they are going, it is not just about the tangible result, the real world results that we are getting. Because that process in itself is about the process of actualizing the best of self. Actualizing the best of what's inside of me. Through the process of leading, I'm becoming better as a person. And not just about me. In the process of leading a person from point A to point B, I'm also actualizing the best in others. Why? Because before they were not able to do what they need to do in order to get there. So in order to bring that person there, I'm actualizing the best potentials in that person. And this is a key element to me when we talk about leading, bringing a person from point A to point B. Key element in that, why do we want to actualize the best in self and others as we lead? I'd like you to think about human beings living on earth throughout history. Throughout history, humans have been awful and cruel to other human beings. From Australia, Asia, Europe, Africa to America, we see examples of human beings throughout time, throughout the planet. Enslave, murder, torture, rape other human beings. And these are the worst of human behaviors. These are the behaviors of people who are not yet fully human. Where do these behaviors come from? A feature of human beings is that humans desire to be above other human beings. Now that is a feature. That is a normal human desire. And from that feature, it allows human beings to grow and develop. So it is not about the feature. It is about the beliefs and values that drive that feature. Now, when that feature is driven by the belief of self-centeredness, by the belief of scarcity, by the belief of wanting everything for myself instead of others, now that desire becomes the desire to be above other human beings at the expense of others. When it is driven by those beliefs and values, the worst of human behaviors will emerge. And beware, these people will continue to be produced as humans are born and experience the growth process before they can become fully human. So that is why for me it's so critical that in leadership we actualize the best in self and others, because the solution to these problems is that by actualizing the best in self in others, we produce the best of human behaviors in society to counter and check the worst of human behaviors. So what is leadership from Neurosemantics perspective? Yes, it is about achieving real-world goals, the tangible goals, and it goes beyond that. Leadership is about actualizing the characteristics of self-actualizing people. What are these characteristics of self-actualizing people? Let's briefly go through some of them, not all, some of them. One characteristic is that self-actualizing people have the capacity for tolerating uncertainty. Another characteristic is the acceptance of self and others. Another characteristic is the characteristic of spontaneity and creativity. Another characteristic is the need for private and solitude, detachment. Because in private solitude and detachment, that's when they reflect upon the events that happens in this world. In that way, they are intentional in their behaviors instead of reactionary. One other characteristic is that they have genuine care and love for all of life. Let's take another characteristic of self-actualizing people. They are altruistic. They have a deep concern for happiness of other human beings and or other animals. Next characteristic that I'll like to bring here is the characteristic of self-transcending. It goes beyond you. And maybe one other characteristic that I love to bring here is the characteristic of that sense of humor and lightness about self, about others, and about life. So this is why we want to help people to actualize their best self so that the best of human behavior can come forth and grow inside this world so that we can counter the worst of human behaviors. Thank you for joining me in this video, and in the next video we will be discussing on the neurosemantics of actualizing self-leadership.